those assists because he really hasn't this year as well as the playoffs. And then in Game 3, Rick, holy hell, 47 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists for Kevin Durant. No one else on the Warriors had more than 11 points, and they won.
Yeah, and Steph Curry didn't hit a 3 until the final,
1 of 10.
3 minutes
yes.
in regulation. Kevin Durant played the best playoff basketball in this playoffs. He's going to win Finals MVP.
That's
you can't
great
stop him.
Because after Game 2, everyone's like, Steph's finally going to get his, and he legitimately is not.
He can't.
No.
Kevin Durant carried the Warriors in Game 3. He didn't miss from mid-range jumper all game until the fourth quarter.
In the third and fourth quarter, I legitimately do not remember him missing a shot.
And even, we talked about this during the game. All playoffs against Houston, he did the exact same thing. You couldn't stop him because anytime that the Warriors were playing poor offensively, let's just let Kevin Durant take over. And then KD does this, and it shows off. He has a career playoff high, 47 points last night.
And what's really Warriors, they get out of Houston. They're in this series. A lot of those makes are 2-point shots. And I'm kind of amazed at how many 2-pointers, how many mid-range jumpers but it's such a good...
Well, he's a gamer. He's trying to win the game. He doesn't care about numbers. He's going to get his, and that's how he scores because he's 7 feet tall and he can take a jump shot over anyone, and it's a wide-open shot.
The NBA is moving to the 3-point shot. Houston set a goal this year. We want to take 50 3-pointers every game. They basically did it.
They shot more 3s than 2s.
But at the end of the day, you need to take the best shots that your team can take. And Kevin Durant's mid-range, whether it's a fadeaway, straight-up pull-up, whatever, it goes in every single time. And it was just burying them. It was burying the Cavs.
And so they've got that going for them. They got the mid-range going for them and Kevin Durant. They've got the 3-pointers, obviously, with Clay and Curry and pretty much anyone else that can take 3s on that team. But they also get the transition game going for them. And the way that they have destroyed teams in the regular season the last 4 years is because of their transition. When they came here to Minnesota this season to play the Timberwolves, the Wolves played them in Golden State the first time this season. The Wolves were on like a 6-game, 8-game winning streak.
Yeah,
they went to Golden State riding high. They got blown out of the gym because their transition game is so effective. It's like nothing you've seen in the NBA.
The transition 3-point shooting the Warriors have is Clay's always open because he's good. Like you almost want. How do you leave him open? It's just what the Warriors do. They have too many guns. I remember we were watching last night's game, fast break. It's Kevin Durant, Steph, and Clay, and there's only 2 guys back for Cleveland. Who do you leave open?
Right.
Who?
You can't.
There's nobody.
Well, and they're all so good with the basketball in their hands that they can
handle.
They can pass
Draymond's
it.
a great handler.
They eventually kicked out, and Klay Thompson hit a wide open 3.
The only thing that gives me pause going forward is Kevin Durant has bitten into Draymond's ball handling, his shots per game. He's bitten into some of his rebounds and some of his assists. And so Draymond doesn't have the confidence taking open shots that he used to.
He can't.
Being
the
aggressive player offensively and being that alpha dog on defense too, because Kevin Durant can play amazing defense when he chooses to. So that's the only thing that I think Draymond is my question mark going forward. But the rest of this team
Draymond.
Is perfect.
You don't even need Draymond on the court. And when they bring in Willis McGee, just takes over.
JaVale McGee, yes.
Who's
he's
Willis
amazing.
Willis McGahee, I was thinking of. That's where I got
great
mixed
running
up.
back for the Bills.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could bring that up.
I'm like, why am I calling him Millis? He started the games. In the first quarter, they just go to him.
He had 10 points, 10-point game.
Go Steve Kerr.
History on the bid. The Warriors, if they win, which, they're up 3-0, they're probably going to win. It'll be their 3rd in 4 years. NBA teams that have ever done anything close to this, and so this is going all the way. 1950s Lakers, they won 5 in 6 years. George Mikan and Vern Mickelson, they're big boys. George Mikan, the Mikan Man, one of the most prolific players of all time.
Laker.
Yes, good point. Minneapolis Lakers, not the LA Lakers.
War 99.
In the 60s, the Celtics won 8 in a row, which was part of 11 total titles. They won 11 in a row. Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, Sam Jones, John Havlicek. John Havlicek, one of the most underrated players of all time. Name.
Won 11 and 13.
Yep.
So 8 in a row, 11 of 13.
From 1985 to 1988, the Lakers won 3 in 4 years. That was basically Magic, Kareem, and James Worthy. from 1991 to 1993, and then 1996 to 1998, the Bulls won three consecutively twice. With, I believe, Houston winning the two
Houston
in between.
Won in 94 and 95.
When Jordan went to go play baseball. And obviously, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Grant, Paxson. There's a bunch of Kukic. Is it Kukic? Kukic.
Tony Kukic.
Two more teams remain that have done something similar to this. The 2000 to 2002 Lakers, Shaq and Kobe, basically both averaging 25 to 26 points per games. What I was surprised by, and this is where history can fool you and you can get caught up in current syndrome. So many good veteran players on this team, which is what I relate to the Warriors and Cleveland getting those veteran minimum guys on those Lakers teams. Horace Grant was on those teams. Fox, L.A. Fox.
Rick Fox.
Yes. Robert Horry, great player. Derek Fisher. Tyronn Lue on that team.
That's when Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue. That happened 17 years ago.
With the cornrows, too. It's awesome.
What you doing down there?
Mark Mad Dog Madsen was somehow on those teams. T-Wolf fans know him. And then Ron Harper. So they had a bunch of bench talent on those Lakers teams that won a bunch of games. And then the last, which this team doesn't even necessarily hold up to what the Warriors have done, but the Spurs did 3 in 5 years. They've won 5 total with that group of Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili. So the Warriors are about to do something that historically only 6 teams have ever done. So they'll be the 7th team to essentially do 3 in a 4 or 5 year span.
And it opens the question for, are they the best team of all time? I know that's kind of what mainstream media is talking about right now, but I mean, what we just talked about, they've got the mid-range game. They've got ball handlers all over the place. They can hit threes. They play transition basketball better than anybody in the NBA. The Warriors, this might be the best team ever assembled.
And that's why I wanted to name the players, because fans, hey, you decide. Listen to that back if you want to. Those are the best players on those teams. I think the teams that hold up,
just the best combination, right?
I mean, the Russell, Havlicek, Kuzi, Sam Jones Celtics. I mean, at the time they were just so better than everybody.
Who else was playing in the league?
There's only 8 teams, I believe. So yeah, no, you're right. Magic, Kareem, and James Worthy. That's a great trifecta.
I mean, Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman.
That's a duo.
And also, they played in a really hard time in the NBA then. That's when everyone was, go inside the paint. They made Jordan rules. You don't go in the paint without getting bashed over the head.
And the other thing, too, is there's coaches for these teams as well. And I think that matters.
Phil
for
Jackson.
Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, they probably did more with less than any other team. But
Pop, man.
And we got to move on. But the only thing I would say about those Spurs teams is almost before that and now right now, superstars are joining together. I feel like mid-2000s basketball, stars were not coming together. You had T-Mac in Houston, you had Francis somewhere, you had AI somewhere.
Right.
The players were more spread out. It wasn't as conjoined, whereas now I think with free agency and how the players union and the NBA have structured contracts and free agency, it's a little bit different. And so people just talk about the Spurs. They kind of won at an easy time in the NBA. And I would say the talent is good, but the teams maybe weren't as great. So
definitely better team ball. Also, the Pistons won too with both the Bens, or both Wallaces, Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace.
And Ben.
Chauncey Billups, Tyshawn Prince, Rip Hamilton. Sick team.
It's one of the best starting fives ever. Love that starting five. You like those Pistons.
Yeah,
you
man.
do.
Isaiah Thomas went to St.
your
Joe's.
team.
Moving on.
So there's NBA. Let's do some NFL. So I got triggered. I ran out of money in one of my betting accounts, so I moved to a new website. So let's just tack some over-unders quick. Bears, 6.5.
Oof.
Rick, your initial thought. First of all, that's a Bush League bet, 6.5. That means your team's supposed to be bad.
Well, yeah,
so I'm just chirping you for that right now on pod.
They're in a good division. Probably going to lose twice to the Vikings and twice to the Packers. Being realistic
that's
here.
That's 4 L's,
so that's 4 L's. Probably going to split with the Lions, even though we could sweep them. Who knows what's going on up in Detroit. But they have a hard schedule. They play the Patriots this year.
Yeah,
I think they play the Eagles.
The North in general has a tough schedule this year. Yeah, we got screwed. So what do you think? More than 6.5?
Oh, my gosh. So what's that? What's that record?
You'd have to go 7-9. 7-9 to beat, which is pretty aggressive.
It's doable, though. It's a brand new team. They have wide receivers. They have talent. However, I want the Bears to be competitive in every game and lose at the end by a field goal or something like that.
Give me your 30 seconds on Mitchell Trubisky. Do you think he's the answer?
Oh, yeah. Well,
He's
Ryan Pace's entire career is centered around Mitchell Trubisky's success. Ryan Pace, the GM of the Bears. So if Mitch fails, well, Ryan, you're going to be out on the street and probably be an assistant coach somewhere or in someone's front office. But this is a big year for Mitch. He had a good year from a passing standpoint and a quarterback standpoint, learning the game. His numbers don't show it, but who was our best wide receiver? Last year,
nobody.
Yeah, he now plays for
nobody.
the
Was your
Minnesota
best receiver.
Vikings.
Cam Meredith on the sidelines and with a torn ACL.
Kendall Wright was our best wide receiver last year, which you guys got in like a
got him in
add-on deal. Mitch is going to be okay in the next couple of years.
I like Kendall, but he's going to block Megaquan, and that's what drives me nuts. But at the same time, if Laquan Treadwell is a player, Kendall Wright isn't going to matter.
Just like yet to see Kevin White.
I think that's one of my sleepers in fantasy. I'm picking Kevin White this year.
You can draft him. So the Vikings over under 10 wins.
They'll beat it. I think they'll go 11-5.
Does 11-5 win the North?
I don't know. That's the
question.
Do the
Packers go 11-5?
I don't know what to expect from the Packers. I have to see them play. I think
A-Rod, no Jordy Nelson.
Well, what sucks is like I want to say A-Rod is older. He's maybe going to get worse, but Tom Brady's playing so good at 38 that I just can't. I feel like I'm going to have a good Rodgers for another 6 years, and it just pisses me off. I mean, we got Kurt. Dalvin's coming back. Our offense, legitimate. I mean, it should be a top 5 offense in the league. Our defense was top 5 last year.
Didn't really lose anyone.
No, we didn't lose anybody. I mean, we should at least win 11 games. I think we'll probably go 12-4. I think that's probably more realistic. I was surprised that the Patriots
10,
was the highest I saw at 11. I was surprised it was at 10.
Yeah. But again, lines are set at what the public's perception.
Yes, very true.
Not at what it should be, always.
It's a very good point. The only other one I want to touch on, Brandon, you'll get a laugh out of this. The Browns, 5.5. Some respect.
They haven't won a game in 2 years.
Shown to Ohio, the Clevelanders of Ohio. And I think they might beat it. I'm going on a limb. The flow is going
risky?
on a limb.
That is so risky, though, to say that the Browns are going to win 6 games
because they put up a 0 burger last year.
Last 2 years.
Fudge. I don't know. See what I did there, Fudge?
Nice.
I think I'm going to do it. I think Baker. Although I love Tyrod, I love Jarvis Landry. I love what they've done this offseason. They got like Carlos Hyde randomly too. Like they've like stockpiled good players. Now they just need to make them play well together, which the Browns have never done. So we'll see. There's NFL, NHL. We're about to go watch Game 5 tonight. My freaking Washington Capitals about to win a cup. I've been waiting for this. Again, Alex Ovechkin, we share a name. One of the many things we have in common.
To the Capitals.
I'm fanboying out. I've never had a team ever win a championship, and I feel like a secondhand...
Right, because you were born in 93, and the Twins won in 91.
87, 91.
Well,
so
and the Lynx...
The Lynx, they've done amazing things. I just don't follow them personally.
Yeah.
Some people do. I don't follow them too closely.
They're not on TV enough.
I'm proud of my Lynx W's, but it's
different.
It is different. It is right now. I wish it wasn't, but it isn't. The only other one I want to talk about, I'm forever a Case Keenum fan because he just gave me so much joy last year. The Broncos over under is 7. They drafted Bradley Chubb, the best pass rusher, him with Von Miller. They got Cortland Sutton in like the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe the best wide receiver in the draft, and they have a new running back, Royce Freeman from, I believe, Texas. So hop on the Broncos bandwagon because I think they're in like kind of a semi-weak division. The Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs, all of them are going to be good. None of them are supposed to be great, really. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Just start thinking about those over-unders for NFL, boys. In betting season, it's free. Or it's not free, it's legal. So
yeah, it happened. First legal bet ever placed in New Jersey, or in Pennsylvania, was for the Phillies to beat the Cubs. And they did.
Work?
They won 6-1.
Okay.
Glad the Cubs could be a part of history again.
Amen. All right, so quickly, 2028. I was watching Blade Runner, the new one. Rick, I haven't told you about this. Riddle me this. So in Blade Runner, this guy, Ryan Gosling, I forget his character in the movie, he has this girlfriend that's a computer. She's like a simulation, and she can walk in his apartment, right?
So she's a robot?
Yes. What she does, but these robots are smart. It's like AI. What's AI? What does that stand for? Artificial intelligence. She's AI. She calls like a prostitute. Prostitute comes over, and in this Blade Runner, she basically can, the prostitute and herself become one. And so they're like making out, they do stuff. I'm not going to get too much into it. this seemed so possible. This is what could happen, and it just freaked me out. Maybe not by 2028. That might be jumping the gun a little bit, but 2060.
2060.
I mean, like artificial intelligence, and this happened in Her too, the Walking